and they exploit the natural as well as human resources of our country. Then we are going to study that what was the state of agriculture sector, what was the state of industrial sector, what was the state of foreign trade and demographic profile in our country when we got independence. First is agriculture sector. Before the arrival of the Britishers, India's agriculture sector was quite good. It is explained by one French traveler, one French traveler who visited India in 17th century, and his name was Bernier. He described that India's agriculture was better than Egypt agriculture. It shows that India's agriculture was good, and after the arrival of the Britishers, they started exploiting our agriculture sector. Now, before the arrival of the Britishers, India was used to grow mainly food crops, which are used by the population of the country for eating purpose. But after the arrival of the Britishers, they compelled Indians to grow commercial crops. Do you know the name of the crop particular? The name of the crop was indigo. Britishers compelled Indian to grow indigo because indigo was required in the England, because in England there was a industrial revolution that indigo was used for dyeing and tying purpose, so it was required in England. So they compelled the Indian farmers to grow indigo. At the same time, there was a shortage of food crops in the country. Now, what was the state of agriculture sector when we got independence? First point is low productivity. Productivity refers to per hectare output. For example, one farmer is having 5 hectare of land. 5 hectare of land and he is producing 200 quintal of wheat. Then the per hectare output is 40 quintal. That is productivity. Low productivity refers to means when we were got freedom at that time, India's per hectare output was quite less. There are so many reasons. First reason is shortage of irrigation facilities, lackage of irrigation facilities. Indian agriculture was a gambling of monsoon. Gambling of monsoon. Gambling of monsoon means it was completely dependent on rain. No efforts were made by the Britishers or even the farmers. Not the farmers, because they have introduced a unique system. That is, I am going to explain in point 2, Jamidari system. No efforts were made by the Britishers or nor by the Jamidars to improve agriculture sector. So productivity was quite less, per hectare output was quite less. Second point is Jamidari system. It was a unique system introduced by the Britishers. Under this system, British government has appointed some Jamidars. These Jamidars were the owner of the land, and they were used to pay fixed amount of rent to the British government, and they were free to charge whatever they wanted to do. So under this system, British government has made Jamidar the permanent owners of land, and they are supposed to pay fixed amount of rent to the British government, but they were charging more than that. Even in case of when there was a crop failure, when there was a no rainfall, nothing was grown in the agriculture sector. Still, the Britishers were used to compel the tenants. Tenants refers to the people, those who were doing actually agriculture, those who were tilling the land. They are known as tenants. They were compelling them to pay rent, and that was called lagan at that time. So this was the system. Then third point is Commercialization of agriculture. Commercialization of agriculture. Before the arrival of the Britishers, Indian farmers were growing food crops only, that is for their self-consumption. But the British government compelled them to grow commercial crops like indigo. The main purpose of indigo is just to sell it in the market. So, from subsistence farming, Indian farming sector was moving towards or moved towards commercialization of agriculture. Now the farmers were growing crops just to sell it in the market. So the outlook of the farmers was completely changed. They have started growing crops for earning profit. So this was the state of agriculture sector when we have got independence. Now the second sector is, that is industrial sector.